Okay, percent proportions again. If we're looking right here, is to of as percentage to 100. We have our part represented by the word is. The whole represented by the word of. And again, the nice thing is whatever comes after the word of is always going to be your denominator. Okay, so don't think anything else. Whatever comes after the word of and is the first thing I look for. And the other thing I look for is my percentage. I always going to put that over 100. So I have my denominator for my fraction, and I have my percentage over 100 every single time. 100 doesn't change, right? Percent per 100. So those are my go-tos every time I try to set one of these up. But again, there's some more information if you want to look at that above. Is can be sketchy. Sometimes it's before, sometimes it's after. That's why I don't use that as a steadfast rule. My two I look for, percentage and after the word of, to figure out putting these in the right spots and then being able to solve my percent proportions here. Okay, so anyways, let's look at number one here. Again, you start out with the skeleton, guys. Start out fraction, percent per 100. Is equal to another fraction. It's proportional to another fraction. I know they're proportional, so now I just got to find the pieces that go in the right spots. So number one says, what number is 70% of 80? So I got my 70 percentage, 70%, 70 per 100 of 80. I always like to box that in, so I put that down here. Now, the other part, it says what number? I don't know. That's my variable. Okay, anytime it says what number, this number, find the number, that is your unknown. You set a variable. I just use n for number, but you can use any letter. Okay, all right, now solving this, a couple things you can do, right? I can't get across the river, can't really go up and down the ladder. Now, I can reduce this though, right? You got zeros on the back, you can chop them off. Then you can go across 10 to 80, multiply by 8, do the same thing to the top, multiply by 8. Sometimes 8 means that n equals 56. And again, you could have cross multiplied this, absolutely. 70 times 80, it's 5600, equals 100 times n, which is 100 n. Now, if you divide by 100, you want to get that n by itself, right? You want to get your variable by itself. Anything you do one side, you do the other. Chop the zeros. 56 divided by 1 is, hey, 56, right? So, one way to do it right there. All right, again, show you how it's done. You get 100 over here. I got 3 positions. They're going to give us 2 out of 3 numbers. Our job is to find the missing third. So 20% of 75 is what number? 20% of 75, that's my denominator, is what number? I don't know. All right, so again, a lot of good ways to solve. Simplify that. That would make that 2/10, which I can reduce still to 1/5. Oh, now I can go across the river. Sure. So, again, if we're looking at this one, you multiply by 15, or you could go vertically and divide by 5. Doesn't really matter. Multiply by 15 is, hey, 1 times that number is that number. So 1 times 15 is 15. Again, another thing you could have done is vertically. You could have divided by 5 on both sides. And guess what? 75 divided by 5, you get the same answer of 15. All right, let's try these two. 45 is what percent of 90? So got my 100. Now, this question right here, what percent? I don't know. That's my variable. Of 90. Box that friend in. 90 is going to be my denominator. 45 is. Now, 45 only got one other position to be in, and that's our numerator right here. That's our part. Okay? Now, this one is a great option to go vertically. You always go towards your variable. Remember, you always go towards your variable whenever you're solving these. It's a little thick right there. But we can go vertically up the ladder. You divide by 2. Do the same thing on the other side. Divide by 2. And n equals 50%. Okay. Now here's another one looking for the percentage. If we look at number 4, what percent of 35 is 7? So what percent? I don't know. good question. We're going to figure that out. Of 35, that's my denominator, is 7. Now, that's as simple as that. Now, once we got it built, and that's the first thing you should make sure you understand is how to build it correctly. Now you got to solve it. I would go vertically and divide by a factor of 5. Do the same thing on the other side. 100 divided by 5 means that n equals 20%. So again, if it asks for the percentage, make sure you have a percentage sign. Otherwise, you will not need it, okay? All right, now 2 more. In these situations, that's how I always started off. 15 is 25%, 25 over 100 of what number? Great question. That's what we don't know. My denominator is my unknown. Now 15 is, it goes right, yeah. Same idea. We're solving for the variable, right? So in order to solve for it, you can go vertically, you can go horizontally. I would go vertically down the ladder here, multiply by 4. Let's do the same thing on the other side. 15 times 4 is 60. And again, if you plug it in, it should make sense. 15 is 25% of 60. Is that true? Yes, it is. Okay, one more. 10% of what number is 2? All right. 10%, 10 per 100. What number, don't know, is 2? Voila. A bunch of things here. You can go across the river, you can go down the ladder, or you could always cross multiply. In this one, I would go probably down the ladder. 10 times 10, love multiplying by 10. It's just times 1 with a 0 on the back. So, same thing on the other side. 2 times 10 means that number is 20. All right. And there you go. There's some more examples for you with percent proportion. Part to whole is percentage to 100. Put them in the right spots. Solve for that variable by going horizontally across the river, vertically up and down the ladder, cross multiply, or reducing and building back up. So a lot of great options. It's whatever you're the most comfortable with. But yeah, you just plug them in, just go piece by piece. I would recommend doing this on a piece of paper so I get them in the right spots first. And then I can look and see, okay, what do I have to do to get my variable? All right? So good